There it is. That's the sunrise. Not as much color as there was 15 minutes ago, but 15 minutes ago I was running my mile. So, some of you just have to get out here and see for yourself. In today's one-year Bible reading, we're still in the New Testament portion in Hebrews chapter 11. It's a long chapter. The whole chapter is about faith. Maybe that's why it's so long. Probably one of the more important chapters in the entire Bible. That's right. Some parts of the Bible are more important than others. They're all important. They're all important. But some are more important than others. Some are more relevant and applicable. Some are more life-changing and soul-feeding. And Hebrews chapter 11, got to be in the top 10, maybe the top 5. It's all about faith. Yesterday we were talking about Abraham. We're talking about Abraham again today. Abraham is our example of faith in more than one way. Yesterday, the Hebrew writer mentioned that Abraham followed God not knowing where he was going. We do the same thing. Do you know the way forward? Do you? Do you have the answers to all the questions? You know what's going to happen tomorrow? We don't know the way forward. But we trust and follow God. He certainly knows the way. Now today, we return to Abraham in verses 18, 19, and 20. And Hebrews tells us that by faith, Abraham sacrificed his son. He didn't actually follow through with it, but he was going to, wasn't he? He was going to sacrifice his son. Now, how can a father do that? Well, the Bible tells us today, in today's passage, what Abraham was thinking. You say, what was I thinking? Well, here's what he was thinking. He reasoned to himself that God could raise the dead. That's what he was counting on. He was going to do what God told him to, and he expected God to raise Isaac from the dead, just like that. They would both walk down the mountain together, him and his resurrected son. What if he'd been wrong about that? What if he'd sacrificed Isaac and it turned out that what he reasoned did not come to pass? Well, in that case, he would have lost more than he could afford to lose. He couldn't afford to lose his son. That's a loss you can't afford to make a mistake like that. And my application today is, there will be times when our journey following the Lord requires us to sacrifice the son. It requires us to give up something so dear to us, so important to us, something we think that we need so much, that if we're wrong about this whole Christianity business, we have lost more than we can afford to lose. Everybody reaches that point. That's the real test of faith. And this was Abraham's test, and he passed the test. Now, God's not going to require you or ask you to sacrifice a human being. Absolutely not. That will never happen. But we may be called upon to give up and sacrifice that which we feel we can't afford to lose if what we believe is not true. But my friend, what we believe is true. Give it up, sacrifice it, relinquish it, give it to God, trust and obey. That's what I'm going to try to do today. I pray you will as well. There's some more color for you. God loves you, my obedient friends, and so do I.